What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of Punters Playbook. All right, where it's buy round footy, and we're going to do the best we can with what we've got, and we're going to make some money, I guess. All right. It's buy round footy. Everyone's a little bit meh. We're all a little bit. We've got the state of origin fever. To put a long story short, we've got the state of origin fever. So 5 games of footy. And yeah, I'm going to do my best I can, all right, I'm going to work with what I got. I'm going to work with what I got. Plain and simple. First up, Tippers Playbook, Pickers Playbook, whatever you want to call it, PP, Pickers Playbook, TP, Tipping Playbook, whatever, all right. Sharks versus Dragons. Not sure what day this is, guys. It's a Thursday. Sharks versus Dragons. Sharks have got a full side. And they did win their last buy-round game, I'm pretty sure. Or did they lose? I think they played the Roosters and they lost. They played the Roosters and they got pumped. So, if history is to repeat itself, the Dragons are going to pump them. No, look, to be honest, and I'm a big believer in the Dragons bring other clubs to their level, and they'll play a club to the standard that they play at. So, honestly, I could see the Dragons winning this one by like a field goal. You know what I mean? Winning by a penalty kick or something like that, all right? They did it to the Storm earlier in the year, and they've been known to do it at other clubs, all right? So, yeah, give me the Dragons here for the Thursday night game, guys, please. Gold Coast versus Manly. All right, on paper, this is a Manly through and through, $1.30 to $3.50, all right? What are we talking about? But okay, and there's a big but in this. A huge, stinky... Whoa. Okay, I think we're good. There's a huge, stinky but in this Gold Coast versus Manly game. And that is Manly. They're the big, stinky but. It's a big, stinky Manly but. And, guys, here's the thing. They're winning and losing. All right, it's different if Manly win one week and then they lose to... maybe they lose to... like the Cowboys or something, like a mid-tier, they're fighting for the 8 sort of team. But they lost to Newcastle, number 15 on the ladder, worst attacking side in the comp. They lost to Newcastle, all right? So anything is fair game, all right? I think the Gold Coast Titans have a better offense, all right, than Newcastle, but they lack in defense, all right? So this game could go one or two ways, all right? Manly blow them out of the water because of lack of defensive capability due to Tino not being there. I mean, Beau Fermor is back, but Tino not being there is a pretty big one. Mo Fotuaika not being there. So I'm going to take Manly here, guys, just because the Gold Coast, like the Titans, don't get me wrong, they got a good offensive side and they can attack, but they haven't had the best defense this year, and their 2 main guys in the middle are gone. So give me Manly. Newcastle versus the Roosters. I'm going to take the Roosters. Newcastle are poo, and the Roosters really don't have too many outs, guys. James Tedesco, that kid's got rugby league. He's got rugby league immortality written all over him. Right? Give me the Roosters. Cowboys versus Dolphins. All right, Saturday night main event. This is a pretty good game. I think it's up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. So Todd Payton and that. Yeah, both teams have been on fire. Not too many outs for it. Cowboys are missing Nanai, Cotter. I could be missing one. Not sure. Missing them too anyway. And then, Tommy Dearden. Ooh, that's a big one. And then, the Dolphins are only missing the hammer. So, Cows are missing a lot. The Dolphins aren't missing that much. But buy round footy, right? If the first round of buy round footy taught us anything, is that it's super unpredictable, all right? Super unpredictable. So, look, Queensland Country Bank Stadium, Todd Payton, it's a hard place to win at. Right? It's hard to beat the Cows at home. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Look, this one's a bit of a pendulum swing. We don't know on this one, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. It's a hard one. I don't necessarily want to go with the Dolphins, but just like I'm going to take a safe, smart pick. Right? I'm going to take the Dolphins because they have less outs. And then the final game of the round, the Roosters, the Rabbitohs versus the Bulldogs. Sorry, yeah, look, I'm going to go to the Bulldogs. I know, the Rabbitohs are my club. Psych! All right, I'm going with the Rabbitohs, guys. They beat us earlier in the round. They beat us Easter weekend, all right? That was 32-0, all right? That's not going to happen again. All right? I won't have it. All right, for one, I won't have it. If the Rabbitohs lose to the Bulldogs, round 15 rugby league, all right, by round footy, I will quit. All right, the YouTube channel is getting hung up, lad. No more YouTube out of me. It'll be done. It'll be dusted, all right? Sorry for all the headphone listeners who I just scream and obliterated your ears. But it's, seriously, if we lose again to the Bulldogs, and I know, you're probably saying, the Bulldogs, they've been really great this year. They're in such great form. They're going to walk all over you. You're silly. Bro, it's bar round footy. Anything can happen. All right, and guess what? Yeah, we're missing Trell, but you want to know who's back at the helm? You know who's leading the troops? And the number 1 jersey, it's our little general. It's our friend of the show. It's our ride or die. It's Jai Gray, please reach out. It's Jai Gray. Jai Gray, please reach out, all right? He is back leading the pack from the back. Little man speed, little general, right? And that's the reason why we're probably going to win. So, yeah. Bit of a deep dive into that one, guys, but giving the South Sydney Rabbitohs doing this. Thank you. Without any further ado, though, that was Tippers Playbook. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty, the rice and beans, however you want to put it, all right? And we're gonna jump into some stats. So kicking us off, Cronulla Sharks and the St. George Dragons. Stats, please.
Cronulla has won each of its last 9 matches against St. George Illawarra. 8 of the last 9 matches between Cronulla and St. George Illawarra at Shark Stadium have gone under the total match points line.
Mm-hmm.
The underdog has won the first half in each of Cronulla's last 4 matches. In each of Cronulla's last 6 matches at Shark Stadium, the opposition's starting right centre has scored at least 1 try. Tyrell Sloan has scored at least 1 try in 4 of his last 5 appearances with the St. George Illawarra as an away underdog. William Kennedy has scored at least 1 try in 6 of his last 8 appearances against the St. George Illawarra.
Look, guys, all right, we try and be as professional as we can here, all right? But if you watched last week's episode of Punters Playbook, all right, I put out I threw a couple hooks out there trying to see if we could get an employee, a Fighting Field Insights employee, to come on here and read stats, all right? And I did that, all right? But I'm a big believer in the apprenticeship phase, all right? No one's building sky rises in their first week, all right? In their first shift. So, please be kind to my personnel, my assistant, all right? They're going to get through this. Continue.
Hiroti has scored a try in 6 of his last 8 appearances. Clint Gutherson has scored at least 1 try in 3 of St. George Illawarra's last 4 matches. Ronaldo Molitalo has scored 2 tries in each of Cronulla's last 2 matches against St. George Illawarra. Yamulti. Ronaldo to score 2 or more.
Yep.
Sharks to win.
Okay.
And 13 plus.
So there you go, guys. All right. Who's scoring 2?
Ronaldo
Molitalo scored a double, all right? I like the Ronaldo Molitalo double stat that was in the stats. I really liked that. And I think he's a winger. It's really easy for him to score 2 tries. There's good odds on that. All right. And then, what did I have there? Shark 13 plus?
Yeah.
Which completely contradicts Tippers Playbook. But, guys, come on. Cut me some slack. Yeah. Not much else to say on that one, guys. Gold Coast Titans versus Manly. Stats, please.
Manly has lost each of its last 4 matches as a favourite.
Damn.
Each of Manly's last 6 interstate matches has a favourite have gone over the total match points line.
Yep.
Jason Saab has been the first try scorer in each of Manly's last 2 matches against a team that was on the bottom of the ladder. Manly has conceded 21 to 30 points in each of its last 3 matches as a favourite. Campiera has scored at least 1 try in each of Gold Coast's last 3 matches against Manly. AJ Brimson has scored a try in 4 of his last 5 appearances with Gold Coast as an underdog at Seabus Super Stadium. Ruben Garrick has scored at least 1 try in 4 of Manly's last 5 matches against Gold Coast outside of Sydney. Beau Fermor has scored a try in 4 of his last 8 appearances at Seabus Super Stadium. Turbo has scored 2 or more tries in each of his last appearances against Gold Coast.
Turbo Lad.
Turbo Lad.
Turbo Lad. Continue.
Burbo and Cooler have scored at least 1 try in each of their last 6 appearances together.
Nice.
Philip Sami and Campiera have combined for 2 or more tries in each of their last 5 appearances together with Gold Coast as a home underdog.
Love that.
Onto the multi.
Yep.
Bo for more, anytime. Ruby G, anytime. And Titans to win.
Boom. Nice, simple one, guys. Once again, I've contradicted the Tippers playbook and I've gone for the Titans. And then, Bo for more, I think, if there's a side that you're going to score against, it's probably going to be Manly. And Bo for more, he is a good back rower and he finds a way to score tries, all right, guys? And then Ruby G, I like Ruby G. I'm always backing the first ever Fight Field Insights player of the round. So, yeah. Newcastle Knights versus the Roosters, please, and some stats on them.
Sydney has won 7 of its last 8 matches against Newcastle.
Yep.
10 of Newcastle's last 11 matches have gone under the total match points line.
So you could be looking at unders, guys. Continue.
In 5 of Sydney's last 6 matches, the opposition starting 5/8 has scored a try. So
that's, for anyone who doesn't know, Newcastle's halves pairing, because it's pretty hard to keep up with them. All right, I think that's Hastings. Pretty sure that's Justin Hastings. Continue.
Mark.
Nwonganitawase.
That's the one. Has scored at least 1 try in each of Sydney's last 5 matches.
Yeah.
In each of Sydney's last 5 matches, its starting left wing has scored at least 1 try.
Boom.
Your multi for this one is Marky Mark to score 2 or more, and Hastings anytime.
So, guys, I will just come out and say I've dipped my toe, and probably not so much as toe, I've dipped my whole foot, both feet, whole leg, up to the neck. All right, I'm up to the neck in 2 or more try scorers this week, all right? Because it's by round footy. And I don't know, it just seems like wingers getting doubles this weekend. Wingers and doubles. Woo! So, and then I threw who did I throw in there? Justin Hastings, because of the Justin Hastings stat. So that'll probably be the leg that drops that multi to dust, but it's a punting game. Rugby league, simple. Let's head down to Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Todd Payton, North Queensland Cowboys, Dolphins. Stats, please.
The Dolphins have lost each of their last 3 matches as away favourites. 5 of North Queensland's last 6 matches have gone over the total match points line.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Labert has been the first try scorer in each of his 2 previous appearances against the Dolphins.
Nice.
Cody Nikorima
Yep.
has scored a try in each of the Dolphins' last 4 matches as favourites.
Nice.
Braden Burns has scored at least 1 try in 5 of his last 6 appearances.
Nice.
Zach Labert has scored 2 tries in each of his 2 previous appearances against the Dolphins. Jermaine Isako.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Has scored 2 or more tries in each of the Dolphins' last 3 night matches against North Queensland.
So, guys, what was my multi there?
It's Zach Labert to score 2 or more and Isako to score 2 or more.
That's what I'm saying. I am neck deep for what was once a big toe, turned into a foot, knee, thigh, upper body, neck. We are deep, and I mean deep in 2 or more territory this weekend. So, look, that one's a certain. That's a lock. So, yeah, thanks for coming. On to the last game of the round. All right. I want you to read these South Sydney stats with pride, all right? I want to almost hear glory in your voice as you're reading the South Sydney stats, regardless. Stat me.
Canterbury has won 10 of its last 12 matches. 11 of South Sydney's last 13 matches have gone under the total match points line. In 5 of Canterbury's last 6 matches at a core stadium, its starting left second row has scored a try. Jacob Preston has scored a try in each of his last 3 appearances. Alex Johnston has scored at least 1 try in each of South Sydney's last 3 matches. Keon Koloamatangi.
Oh, that was perfect.
Has scored a try in each of South Sydney's last 2 matches. The multi for this one is Preston anytime, AJ anytime, and of course Jai Gray anytime.
Oh my god! And we hit a Jai Gray, of course. Preston, AJ, Jai Gray, 3-man stacker. But if you wanted to dip your toe into hot water again, you could go Alex Johnson for a double. Thanks for coming on the stats, guys. That's all the stats I have. All right, and that's my multis and that's my picks. All right, and you know that's all that we have left to talk about now is the board. All right, everyone's favorite segment. You know, we do the real nitty gritty deep dive into the internal stats. All right, so follow me over to the board, please, guys. Cash cows, locks, long shots. You know how it works. You probably can't see it on camera. That's totally fine. I'll explain it to you. Cowboys, Titans, Rabbits in the cash cow box. All right. Cowboys $2.50, Titans $3.35, and the Rabbits at $2.85. All right. The Titans at $3.35 is probably the highest odds in cash cow history. It's the highest in cash cow history, I'm telling you. We haven't had anything over $2.90 in there before. So to chuck the Titans in there at $3.35, but I just think of the drastic loss against the Newcastle Knights last week, which I know doesn't sum up a rugby league side. Don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer that you could lose to the worst team in the comp one week and win the next one. Oh my God. You can do that, all right? You can do that. But I've put the Titans in the cash cows regardless. Locks, doggies, sharkies, roosters. Pretty simple stuff, guys. $1.44, $1.32, $1.50. All right, all pretty simple stuff. Long shots. The Knights are $2.60. The Knights, I think we are going to, as a community, as the Fighting Field Insights community, and well, me steering this baby from the helm, we're going to keep the Knights in the long shot box for the rest of the year. All right, the Knights could turn around, make top 8, and I will still have them in the long shot box. All right, so Knights long shot, Dragons long shot. I think the Dragons beating the Sharks, and I know I tip differently, I punt differently, and then, you know, I got long shots and locks, all different, all right? It's all different, all right? Nothing makes sense. Never does. For the UFC this weekend, Usman, $3.10, Cody Garbrandt, $2.35. Kamaru Usman, guys, you got to remember, you know, former welterweight champ, one of the greatest of all time, and he's paying $3.10. Don't get me wrong, he's old, but he's still a dog. And then Cody Garbrandt, you know, $2.35. That's pretty good. Abdul... Trying to remember this guy's name. Abdul, I don't know. If you want to know the guy's name, go check out this week's episode of Fight IQ. And then Omar C, $1.14, $1.19. Some pretty low odds, but they're a lock. Cody Brundage is $5.60. And then Alonzo Menafield is $4.75. A little bit of UFC. We don't often talk it, but it's back, and it's back in full swing, all right? You're probably going to get more on the board lately because there's a bit more UFC coming through the ranks. Try time, guys. Try time. First game. Tyrell Sloan, $2.20. I like it. Hiroti, $2.60. He's got a tendency to score tries. I'm guessing that $2.60 odds probably means that he's been shifted to a center position or something, but $2.60 I have full and good belief that he's going to get through. And then if you watched the last buy round Punters Playbook, so the last time we had a buy round and we did Punters Playbook, all right? To make up for the lack of games, I just sprinkled in a third try scorer for every game. So this, for the Sharks game, T. Wilton, $4.50. There was a stat in there about him. I don't know if the T. Wilton stat, I think it was in there, in my stats, but I'm not sure. Jason Saab, he's back off a little injury, so I just thought it's only fair to put him on the board. I know he's only $1.70, but it is what it is. AJ Brimo, $3.05. Bremo's going to cross the line at some point. It's not an if, but a when. It's not an if, but a when. When does AJ cross the line? All right. And then Beau Fermor, as I said in my multi. All right. The big boy just knows how to cross the line. Marky Mark, $2.15. He's been moved back to the centres, so, you know, he's got a little better odds because he mightn't score. But let's face it, it's Mark Nwonga-Nitawase. And last time, buy round footy, remember, they put him in the centres. He scored anyway. It doesn't matter, all right? So, Marky Mark, $2.15. Sit on it. Spin. Whatever you want to do. Dylan Lucas, $4.20. I know this is a bit of an outrageous one, but the last time we had buy... I know I'm talking a lot of previously here, but last time we had buy round footy, Dylan Lucas nearly scored 4 tries. Nearly scored a quaddie. So, and then I chucked a bummy on, all right? Shout out Halipol Podcast. I chucked in a Steepy, chucked in a Blake Steep, $10. $10 odds, right? That is a proper long shot, that one. That's the longest shot we've ever had in try time. Forgive me, I'm actually not sure how to say this guy's name, and I am not a rugby league connoisseur. I guess I am a connoisseur of the sport, but I'm not going to know everyone's names. I don't know how to pronounce Max Faggy. I don't know how to pronounce that, right? But he's paying $3.10, playing in the centres for the Dolphins. Thanks. Someone put down in the chat how to say his name. Jakey Clifford, he's back. He's paying number 7, $5.75. He scores tries, guys. Whether you want to admit it or not, he scores tries. Marky Nick, big Mark Nichols, all right? Scored a try earlier in the season through the posts. I think it was against Broncos, not sure. $8.75. I like that, all right? AJ, $1.96. It's my boy. And then Jacob Kira has $2.20. And then my sort of trifecta for that game is Jaden Sullivan, because he's been looking real sneaky near the line this year. He's been really sniffing out gaps in the defensive line. So yeah, that's it. That's try time. That's cash cows, locks, long shots, guys. If you skipped last week's episode and you're here now and you don't see a cheeky little pony on the board, guess what, guys? Guess what? No more cheeky little pony. And look, I said I would do an Instagram poll to consider keeping the cheeky little pony. I haven't done that. I don't think my Instagram page has enough clout to push that. All right. So, I don't know. Maybe just comment. Maybe comment, cheeky little pony. Or maybe just comment a horse emoji if you want cheeky little pony to stick around. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Guys, look, that's it. The board's done. Stats are done. Multis are done, and picks are done. So that's Punters Playbook. We're wrapped up, guys. It's been another week. It's another round of buy round footy. Hey, look, can't complain. Origin's right around the corner. I actually don't mind buy round footy. All right, arrest me, burn me at the stake, sailing witch trials. Yeah, not much else to say, guys. Check out my Instagram. Check out my TikTok. All right, subscribe, like. This is a really chaotic end of the video. I don't know what to do. Can I get a big shout out to the personnel, to my employee who helped me read out stats today. Yeah, did all right. All right. Comment. She did all right. If she did all right. So thanks for watching, guys. And I don't think I have anything else to say. That was a really chaotic end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Punters Playbook. Cheers. Bye.